Have you ever looked at your phone and wondered if you had been utterly forgotten? That empty sensation in your chest and the never-ending thoughts in your head, was it all for nothing? Is it finally time to give up and go on? People have advised you to trust the timing, but every day that goes by seems like more proof that the timing is wrong, or worse, that it will never arrive. But what if that awful stillness wasn't a no, but a way to become ready? What if the universe has been putting together a startling comeback tale behind the scenes, and the last act is ready to start sooner than you think? There is a prophetic word that says a divine acceleration is happening, a spiritual movement so strong that it will transform all you thought you understood about waiting. The clock keeps ticking and we are all stuck. We count the days, mark our calendars, and measure our lives in weeks and months that seem to last forever. This way of seeing time becomes a prison, making us think that it's too late, and that if it was meant to be, it would have already occurred. We tell ourselves that we're simply being stupid for clinging on. There is, however, a whole other level of time that we don't grasp. It's been termed kairos, which means the perfect moment when everything comes together. It's a place where God doesn't count the days we see, but He does set up the ones we don't. A greater power is gazing at the heart while you glance at your watch. Isaiah, an old book, has a great insight about this. In its time, I will do this quickly. Think about the term swiftly. In religious jargon, this doesn't signify a transformation that happens slowly over time. This implies that when the kairos moment eventually comes, things happen almost instantly and quickly. It feels like someone pressed a spiritual fast-forward button, and what was intended to take years happens in only a few hours. This may sound like a dream, but all you have to do is read one of the most amazing comeback tales ever written. Think about Joseph's narrative, a guy who was left to die in an Egyptian jail. He was entirely forgotten for years. He had understood the dream of the Pharaoh's cupbearer, who said he would remember him, but that promise was gone. Joseph was met with complete, soul-crushing silence for 2 more full years. Think about the things that must have been going through his mind. Has God lost track of me? Will I die here? Was all of my trust in vain? He was, at the very bottom, a prisoner in a distant country who no one remembered. But then, one morning, Pharaoh had a dream, and out of nowhere, after 2 years of not being able to recall anything, the cupbearer suddenly remembered Joseph. In a whirlwind of events that happened in only a few hours, Joseph was taken out of the jail, brought before Pharaoh, and by the end of the day, he was the second most powerful man in all of Egypt. In only 1 day, he moved from being a prisoner no one remembered to being the governor. This is the best indication that God speeds things up. Joseph could only see the walls of his jail, but God could see the last steps of his preparation. Joseph heard nothing, but God was getting ready for the appropriate time for him to rise up. People in your same circumstances are supposed to be going through what happened to Joseph right now in the unseen realm. A huge spiritual operation is going on while you are stuck in a maddening quiet. Reports from the spiritual frontier say that a lot of work is being done on your behalf. Angels are being sent out and placed in the right places, like pieces on a big chessboard. Things in both your life and the other person's life are being carefully lined up. This isn't simply a passive wait. It's an active preparation by God. The individual who seems to have disappeared from your life hasn't really forgotten you. Instead, their heart is getting ready to come back at the proper time. They are developing a real urge to reconnect, which is a good spiritual pressure that will soon be difficult to ignore. When the heavenly mandate of now comes, they will sense an urgent need to get in touch with you that they won't be able to explain to themselves. It won't be a passing thought or a weak moment. you will get a clear and indisputable spiritual message that it is time for you to speak again. The cosmos starts to provide strange clues like a trail of breadcrumbs as this holy acceleration approaches closer. There are 3 secret signals that the wait is almost over, and they are not what you may think. The first symptom is that the other person is becoming more and more restless for no reason. It's a sense that something is missing, like an empty space that nothing else can replace. They are being given a heavenly desire that only you can satisfy, even though they don't realize it. They might not know why they feel this way, but this inner struggle is the first sign that their heart is coming back to you. The second sign is considerably more interesting. Sudden changes will start to happen in their outside lives, opening them new doors of possibility. Maybe they have to change jobs unexpectedly, relocate to a new place, or terminate a big cycle in their lives. These things are not just random. They are planned occasions that provide the best, most fruitful settings for them to reach out and for you to reconnect in much better circumstances. The third and strongest clue is when you start hearing your name come up a lot in their lives. People you both know could start talking about you for no reason. Someone can ask about you out of the blue or bring up a memory you two shared. This is the universe utilizing other people to send you spiritual messages, putting your name back in their minds and softly reminding their hearts that you are there. Think of a huge dam that has been keeping back a river for years. Everything looks calm and quiet on the outside, but the pressure has been building up to an amazing level. You didn't squander any of the time you spent waiting. It was a time of gathering. Every prayer, every tear, and every moment of trust throughout the quiet has been adding more water to the dam. The spiritual energy has been building up, the alignment has been made perfect, and the structure is now ready to shatter. When the time is right, the floodgates won't merely creak open for a little bit of contact. They will all spring out at once, sending out a rapid and strong rush of communication that will erase all the years of stillness. What was supposed to take months or years will now happen in days. It's like a flower blooming in the middle of winter or rain dropping in a dry desert. When everyone, even you, has given up hope, that's when the God of the impossible does something that will leave you dumbfounded. But this all brings us to the most essential question. If this amazing breakthrough was always the plan, why did you have to wait so long and go through so much pain? The answer is a secret of divine timing that only a few people know. There is a very particular reason why the acceleration is happening right now. You and the other person have finally attained the right level of spiritual and emotional maturity. It couldn't have been previously since you weren't ready. The time wasn't perfect, and hearts weren't ready to establish anything that would last. This timing isn't arbitrary, it's just right. Every single delay has a reason. You got stronger with each task. Your faithfulness throughout the stillness and your willingness to trust when your mind told you to give up produced the spiritual circumstances that made this acceleration possible. The person in charge of this plan noticed your tears and heard your prayers. Because you trusted them, the timeline is now moving faster. Your personal preparation is now at its last and most important stage, with this frightening contact coming up soon. When God speeds up a process, He also speeds up the work that needs to be done to get ready for it. This means that your job is no longer only to wait. You also need to get ready to take advantage of this chance. You need to change your whole energy today. Stop waiting in a low vibration of agony and desperation and move up to a high frequency of joy and confidence. It's not only about them being ready, it's also about you being ready. You need to be at peace with yourself, know your own value, and be whole on your own. You don't want to answer from a place of neediness or desperation when that communication eventually comes. You want to reply from a place of strength, ready to make something strong and enduring. Every day, wake up with the real thought that this may be the day when everything changes. Don't live in the stress of a protracted wait. Live in the excitement of a quick breakthrough. Your emotional winter is almost over. A spiritual spring is going to break out, and it will happen quickly. The wait is ended. The speed up has started. Get ready for a communication that arrives when you least expect it, a contact full of honesty, clarity, and divine purpose. But this is the last, most amazing element of the prophecy. The universe doesn't only bring back what was gone. The message is one of two restorations. What is coming back will be different from what it was before. It will come back in ways you can't even comprehend, stronger, better, and blessed. It's not simply about starting where you left off. It's about beginning a new chapter that is far better than the one you had before. So be calm and open your heart. Believe that a plan far greater than yours has been going on this whole time. Get ready, because that message will arrive sooner than you think. And when it happens, you'll know for sure that every second of the wait was worth it.